So our president says you have to revisit the last, we always do, but he wants to revisit the end of the ice we just learned. Anything particular or just the whole thing? Okay, let's go to the whole thing. So what's he want to explain? The chidush is there's no change, there's no tzimtzum. Obviously not in the Eibishter himself, that goes without saying. There's not even change in the mo'ir. Mo'ir means the way the Eibishter has, after he has decided to, well, really the whole idea of revelation, the whole idea of otherness on the most sublime level is decided by God. Actually, the decision of God to begin with is dir b'tachtonim, which is the ultimate otherness, tachten. And it all starts with revelation. I'm going to repeat that again because it's a very important statement. The Maamre is saying that there's no tzimtzum in the oir. For sure not the moir and obviously not atzmo. So let's just understand what that means. There's no change in the essence of Hashem, and there's not even a change in moir. What's the difference between moir and atzmos? Now, sometimes they're used interchangeably, depending on the context. But there is a cardinal difference. That moir is God's decision already right there for the whole otherness and giloi and elyon and tachten, although elyon and tachten will only emerge later. But revelation, which means a source that reveals, that's moir. He decided the inyan of gilui, that there should be revelation. That's the fundamental change. Revelation implies outside of self, otherness on some level, whatever level that might be, the most sublime level, but that's the big change. The biggest change in all of Ishtarshalos is the Eibishter's decision to be a mo'ir. And the rest flows. What was that decision? He wants to do it, that's right there in Atzmus, this Avakadosh Baruch Hu. So the chiddush here is that throughout the entire process of God's involvement, not just him, but his revelation in which he is ultimately invested. That's the chiddush. He's invested in his revelation. His revelation is nothing other than him. So just like there's no changes. No changes in his revelations. But that is an extraordinary statement. The mata adin tachlis, the ein tachlis unfathomable component is the pshat in the Tikkun Zayar is not what it seems. The whole lot of the Frierdiker Rebbe is a complete chidush in the understanding of an otherwise beautiful, let's leave it alone, statement in Tikkun Zayar. Ein Sof is the Mailam Adin Tachle, Adin Ketz, that was understood till the Frierdiker Rebbe's meaning that the Ein Sof is Bligvul. Thank you very much. And the Matam Adin Tachlis and his reach is all the way down. He creates Bruyim all the way down here. No, it's not the Pshat. That's obvious. That's not what the Tikkun Zayar is saying. Ein Tachlis means unfathomably. What's unfathomable? What's so unfathomable? The God descends and creates these lowly creations. Nothing unfathomable about a creator doing that. That's what creators do. It's their job. It's their business. The Ein Tachlis is that the Oyer doesn't change. That notwithstanding investure in Gvul and the Oyer descending, notwithstanding the Tzimtzum, fundamentally the Oyer doesn't, the creative force of God doesn't change. Only Legabeinu. From our perspective, but not in truth. That's huge news. Because there's a tzimtzum. You just finished saying, oh, not finished. There's an atzilus, there's a bri, and there's an yitzir. These levels are real. One's lower and one's higher. No. All these tzimtzumim, only like Abbeinu, the etzem, revelation, and all of these levels is the same. This is not news to this Maamre. This is all chassidus. keep on saying ganz Chassidus. This is true, because every nekuda of Chassidus is ganz Chassidus. Essence, whatever aspect you address it, everything it's everything. That's true of essence, and Chassidus is in atzmi. As opposed to a gilui, a tziyur. At any rate, close brackets. Back to the subject at hand. So this is what the Maim is explaining with the various mishalim. The change is only for the makabel, not mitzad the gilim ilamayla. Now, the examples, the yuvan, al pi dugma, which is brought, the Mittel Rebbe brings this. I'm sorry, the Alter Rebbe. It's in the Kutei Torah. The first mashal is of whom? It's one mashal. What is it? Please look at it. Tell me, just give me the words. Who's the first mashal? What's the first mashal?
Rav and Talmud?
Moshe Rabbeinu and the Nevi'im.
Oh.
Moshe Rabbeinu and the Nevi'im. So what's the nukod of the mashal? Pashat. Moshe Rabbeinu lives down here. Yeah? Moshe Rabbeinu lives in Elam Hazeh. So what does it mean? He's walking at Atzilus. He's in the Shama of Atzilus. And he's in a goof. What's going on? It's Tzimtzumim. He should be in the. He's asking a Pasha the Shaila, what is the Pshat? What is it going to mean that a person can be walking in the Lamhaz and he's in the Shama of Atzilus? There's a whole Seder Shtaushalus. You got to go through Bri, Etzir, Asiya, and all the dargis before the Neshama is invested in the goof. And they're all tzimtzumim. So Atzilus is compromised. No longer. Now it's Asir, Malchus, the Malchus, Dasir, which is what we all are. No, it's the Shama Atzilus. The Nakuda is Atzilus is Meir here. Everything is Meir. Everything illuminates. Just a keli, you pick it up or you don't. The marshal we gave a marshal in our world of what? I hope it's helpful. What's the marshal we gave? Not in the Maimer. Maimer couldn't give this marshal. Das Radio.
The radio.
Yeah. So we're oblivious. We're oblivious because not in tune, but a sensitive instrument, the right sensitivity. Bittel, refined. Moshe Rabbeinu's goof is refined, but tachlis. So he's a keli, Atzilus, and even higher. That was one marshal. Likewise, Nevuah. Nevuah is present. God's talking to us. So Neshama Taka hears it, and sometimes it filters down into consciousness with a little shake here and there, a little tremor. But Nevuah is going on all the time. The good Lord's talking. Second marshal. The Rav and the Talmud. So what's in the code of the marshal? When the Rav says the marshal, or the reduced, he doesn't use a marshal of a marshal. It just uses a marshal of a radically reduced articulation of the idea. Radically. So radical, there has to be a tzimtzum arishan in the master, the mind of the master. You cannot think about the idea on his terms. You've got to stop thinking like the master. Big shift, that's a tzimtzum arishan. Then he has to mamshich ha'oir kav dak. He's got to now a delicate little idea, he's going to convey to his beloved Talmud, whom he wants. What's the point? What does he want? That he should be what? He's critical of the Muslim.
Duplicate the Tiyos of Kamoisai.
Right. So as he's teaching, there's a hand of a hester for the master. Every word that he says, adosid is, and nothing else other than the idea. But for the student, all he's getting. Meanwhile, till the
other side.
Huh?
The paper my father wrote.
Yeah, the paper your father wrote.
Every time that he would give it these kinds of classes, it would take him a year or two to prepare it.
Look at that. Wow.
As in,
So the paper I'm reading took him a year to prepare,
maybe more.
maybe more. Okay, the truth is I started slogging through it. I got to revisit it. I kept it for the plane
It's like,
ride.
not just like that, but he would give classes every few years at there was a Torah science conference, it used to be.
He was one of the Lipscomb in Florida.
Yeah.
So that's a beautiful marshal. So
It
you
was every other year, so it took him basically took him 2 years
to present it in the Chassidus in a way. What's he trying to do? He wants to present Chassidus in a way in the Kli of the Makabel in the language of science. Yeah. So it's Tzimtzum macht it, Tzimtzum tremendous yigia. Yeah. But as your father gave that lecture, Adarabah, that lecture and the word that he's saying, like it brilliantly expresses the idea. Yeah. Okay. That's the nakud of this ice. Yeah. Can we go further or not? Should we? We need the president's okay. He's considering. Chaim, Mister, I'm talking to you.
What?
Do we continue?
You do whatever you want to. Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah, we need the president's okay.
That's the Werter over here.
Where?
שסילוק שכל הרב אין בעצם ששכל הרב אין נמצא כי אם שאין לו שייך לתלמיד המקבל. כשהרב הוא בעל שכל גדול, אין מגיע לקשר של תלמיד מלאכים כאשר הרב צריך להשפיע.
Yeah, these are hard words, and we explained. I hope it's right. We explain it like this. I'll say it again. We're revisiting 6 lines from the bottom of the ois. Therefore, so the Rav wants to give over the idea. So obviously the way the teacher understands and his level of intelligence is not revealed at all. Now, afilu, what's the degree of the tzimtzum? Even he cannot even, before I go further, as long as the Rav is still hanging on to, in his own mind, the way he understands it, then even as he's thinking about the Talmud's limited ability, but if he thinks about that, if he thinks about the Talmud still in the context of the world of his own seichel, even though he's thinking of the Talmud, it's still far beyond him. He has to do this is the Tzimtzum Rishon. He has to completely remove the way he thinks about the idea for a moment, completely, and then start to give the idea over. He cannot. What he's saying is he cannot even think about the Talmud as long as he's still in the context of his own understanding of the idea. He has to be removed completely. That's the Tzimtzum Rishon, the big original silig. Nonetheless, because they're moving, even though there's an external drastic shinoi, but it's all because of the limitation of the makabel. There's drastic shindoyim mitzad the makabel. The Rebbe brings this in the it's more chassidus. It's bring the sichos, the early halakim. A physical example of this is actually your story, kind of, with your father, Olav Shalom. And when the Rav is about, it's a different part of the motion. We can apply it. I'll tell you what it says there. It says there that when the Rav gets a new idea, he's teaching. And all of a sudden, he gets this new idea, so he stops teaching. Stops teaching. They're in silence and look at him, and he doesn't even see them. So it looks like he's checked out. V'emes, it's only because he has this new seichel he wants to give over. That's not the mashal here. Here is the Rav has an idea. And now he wants to give it over. He's still got to disconnect. He's got to disconnect in his desire to give it over, never mind as he's receiving it, and he wants to give it over because he can't think about it the way he thinks about it. He can't give it over. He's got to stop, not to say anything, remove the whole thing from his idea, and then radically get into the mind of the Talmud and then give it. First, after a big siluk. So from the recipient, and nothing's going on, he's getting nothing. Then when he gets something, He gets a simple idea. But the Talmud knows that this whole, he said it before, that even with the makabel, it's not really a tzimtzum. Because the intelligent Talmud knows that in here is the whole thing, and he'll toil it. And only reason that the teacher, closed his eyes, was quiet, is not because he doesn't love me, doesn't want to be a teacher. It's not. He's all part of that sprach. He's so devoted. He's so devoted. It takes him a year to. He so much wants me to get the idea that for a year he toils on bringing it down. That year hiatus is not disconnect, that's connection. Even the Talmud appreciates that, which is why after 40 years, eventually he gets the idea, because it's all there. He knows it from the outset. Okay, the next thing is kind of, we've said it a little bit. Let's go further. Say to him is because we have the benefit of learning the mind. But moreover, even in the world of the symptom, there's no change. I just said this point now. The gamla gabena, because even for us, we're in the. I just said this basically, but let's see how accurately we said it. Even for us, the recipient, the makabel, he knows that in this is the whole Indian. There's a depth and a depth and a depth here that it's in here that he's going to access. He's not left in the dark all his life. He knows at the outset where this is going, and therefore what it is, bepnimius, even now. Yeah? The gamla gabeni in that tzimtzum arishan, even the tzimtzum arishan. Again, the Rav sits there and he's quiet. They know this is all because he's giving over to them. It's all part of the Gilui. It's all part of the process. We're clear? Push it, yeah? Yeah.
The siluk in the mashal is not that. The siluk is the actual, even when he's giving it over on the siluk.
There's two, the tzimtzum
Giving
arishan.
an example where it's more extreme, like where he actually has to stop.
Yeah, well, that's the tzimtzum arishan.
Right.
The tzimtzum arishan is complete removal of the idea. He's not giving over anything then. And then until he actually speaks, he goes many tzimtzumim of the oir dak, depending on the level of the Talmud, that also takes time till it took his father a year to bring it down. No, so I met your father by name way before you were born this time, when these publications came out. I used to get them. Our connection goes back before you. Okay, well, we're going to revisit them a little bit. We'll try. I mean, I struggled with it. We'll try again. So the gabeinu in that tzimtzum barishim. So even for us, the tzimtzum barishim, which is this radical tzimtzum that the Rav has to go, which not be the silence. He's not saying anything. The chol tzimtzum in the seder ishtal shalos, and in the mashal, it would be the idea coming down level by level, which we're not hearing, but maybe other students are hearing, of higher level than us, and we don't understand it. We understand it's all a process to get down to the idea that we can absorb, but in that idea is everything. We understand that. To the Yosi, getting out Tzimtzum b'Chodeshis Kabel, since the whole point of the Tzimtzum is that the Rav wants the Talmud to get the idea like he does ultimately. Not mitzad the Rav, and on some level, not mitzad the Makabel. Now that's going to masber it. Yeah? When you bazek, if you shmevai ba moshel, Indian is like the moshel says, shechevtze shalaravu. What does the Rav she in it? Yosef can make an interesting way of saying it, that his planting should be like him. Planting is a good moshel because for the seed to grow, it needs bittul. And also mitzad the Rav is toil. Planting is toil. You get down and dirty. You get down to the soil, into the nitty-gritty, as very much going to say, the nitty-gritty. planting. Also, I mean, it invokes Elam Hazem Mamash, this world. Akoponim. So he wants that what his planting should be like him. What does it mean in the Nimshal? Shesof kosof. No, this is still the Moshe. Shesof kosof yagia Talmud lias k'mei Rav. The Talmud should be like the Rav. Elo. Doesn't mean the Nimshal. Atzmus nizgala lamata. That the Yeshan Nivra should express the Yeshan Miti. That the I am of the Talmud of the Nivra should express the I am of God, and that's the only I. But in order to arrive at that, it's what? It's 3,000 plus years of Golas, actually since creation. We're still working on it. 5,785 years. No. So first has to be the complete removal of the Seichel Arav, like the Tzimtzum edition. It's silent. It's a complete removal. We're in the dark. The vacuum. Then they can't, again, the Rav cannot in any way give it over on his terms. It cannot be the way. It's got to be complete siluk. In the Moshel Pasha, the silence from him, or the years labor, but there's no output. And then he gives over a very tailored expression, a kind of a line, meaning to say higher and lower. It's all tailored. A ladder. He has to come up with the light of the Seichel, that it's appropriate to the recipient of the Talmud. And even after, he's got the language, he's got the words, he's got the idea, but still in the Yochel Amshichu, the way he has that muscle, that Inyan, he still can't give it over. That could be what he said before, that he entertaining the Talmud still in his head. He has to make still many layers of filtering. This thin, narrow projection. But till the end, the Talmud will understand on his terms. And then, because since Bepnimis, the earth didn't change, the whole Seichel is there. Then in the end, his plantings will be like him. The Talmud will grasp the profundity and the enormity of the idea, just like the Rav, and in a way more, because he toiled to understand it. But that's not the Chiddush, in a way more. So then all of the above understood that not only mitzad for sure mitzad the Rav, the Seichel is no real change given shayir mitzad atzma yeshna begiloi, because the oyer still remains. The idea didn't go anywhere. The idea is there. That's all he's doing is giving over the idea. Except that he can't give it the way it is. So the Talmud is not shaykhis to it. Even that which the Talmud is shaykhis to, which is the Tzimtzum, given since the whole point that he's giving over this filtered idea is that he should be like the Rav Nitiyos of K'moisav. His plants like his planting like him. The whole point is that in these words, in this simplified idea, he should get the relatively infinite beyond his present state expression of the idea the way it is by the Rav. That's the point of it, and it's in these words that gufa, in this whole process of the filtering, it's driving it all, what's present in it all, present, not just driving it way back in the dim and distant past, but present in the Seichel is the relatively obliqual of the Rav. But in order to get that abligval, key words. It's revealed in such a way, but it appears to the Talmud that there's a shinli in tzimtzum. What I get is when I'm having the Talmud thinks this is not what's in the Rav said. I'm so far away. That's what the Talmud thinks, and he has to think that way because look, externally he's getting something radically distant. But even the Talmud knows that this is really not the real change. The Rav sees in this idea, the story that he said, however he gave it over, the language of science, of math, whatever it was, he sees the chassidus. He sees Nitiyosov Kamoisai, just like he sees his Talmidim, they're gonna be like him because he's given it all to them. He sees in the Talmud as he's getting it now, he's going to get it. He understand the what chassidus. But now at this stage it's only potential, but it's going to develop. It'll draw, the Talmud will toil on it. It's all here, and it'll be revealed b'peil. And this Talmud, even though he spoke language of science, will understand elikus. Yeah, let's go further. Yeah, ois hey. However, there's no change despite the tzimtzum, and that's true b'pnimius. But in terms of what is the Talmud getting in the open, revealed way right now, it's concealment after concealment. And that, my friends, is Lamaila Adin Ketz. We're going to circling around now, coming back to Lamaila Adin Ketz, which is higher than Lamat Adin Tach, which is the Gilui. The Mat Adin Tachlis brings out the Gilui. No change really, not Mitzad the Mashpia, and even the Talmud knows that there's real no change. But the Pearl, there is a change. The Pearl is getting not only Mamish, Hel, and Vehester. And that's going to bring out even more. That's even more. That's the Mailam Adin Ketz. That's even more than the Gilui component. Gewalt and Geschichte. That's what we're going to see now. The whole mind is to explain this. Beis Hashem will get it. Let's go. How does it be for the Helem Acher Helem Kanal? Miteres Hashem to be nice slapshus the Hashem to remember the Hashem to's touch Bereshis Bar Elikim Eis Hashemayim. Remember? No. Bereshis Chachma Bar is and then it's Napshim Bria Eis the Aleph till Tov the Chabez Oisius and the Tov 400 the Lamas Vestadium. These lapshus. And the end result is the next pasuk, chaos and darkness and void and the great deep. That's Tohim, Ruach al Pnei Tohim. I don't know what it says next to this. It's giving a verb, but the Tohim, which is the next word, he doesn't quote the Tohim, the great deep. That is the Maila Adin Ketz. It's all the expression of the great depth. Adarab. Anyway, let's go. This is what he says in the Maimed. The downside is Harayin Sof, but the downside is going to be the upside, the ultimate upside. Harayin Sof ain't in Yirgish. Godliness is not felt. It's present. The radio waves are here. It's finding good in the tzimtzum, and the idea. It's all there, and even the Talmud knows it. But the pale, it's not. The pale in terms of his experience, it's not. In the nirgish. Not only that, says the Vidike Rebbe. Not only the Eira that creates Eshma'ayin, but even the Eira Pnimi, which is invested and gives life to all that which exists. So you feel you're alive, Mamish. What's that? Harayesh Bruim, believe it or not, they're such created beings. They feel they're alive, but they don't feel that it's godliness. Imagine such a thing. That's how terrible the hell is. We all feel we're alive. Life, shouldn't that be it? Divinity? No. According to Rebbe, and he knows that the Bira very clearly. He knows that. Who is he? The bone and the flesh. He's the life force that's in here. A personality. There's energy. He knows that the main thing is not the body. The body is the carrier of life. But the Ikid is the life force. And still, incredibly, he feels its life and doesn't feel that it's Chayes Eliki. So where's he going with this? Oh, this is the deepest expression of Koyach HaAtzmus. And moreover, if you say to him, he adds in the Maimer, the concealment is so great from level to level. At such a level of total denial, like Pari says, denial is mine. That's the real denial. Denial is mine. And he goes on to say, and I made myself. Or, that was Pari. But a Yid could say, that his success is his own. How could this be such an Indian? Okay, we'll continue tomorrow. I hope I'm not wrong. What he's really asking is, Kashin Tanya in Perigimon, how is it that we don't feel bottle? And you cannot answer glibly. Please answer my question. Why can't you say, well, God hides? Why is that completely nonsense? Why is it not? God conceals himself. So we don't feel his presence. Why is that a nonsensical answer? And completely incomprehensible, and therefore it's the expression of l'mayla in Katz. This is Bemis Tanya, Shari Yichud. We said it earlier in one of the shiurim. We were in the show. Answer the question: why can't you say God hides? What's the counter to that?
That's hiding himself, right? You can't hide yourself.
Okay.
There's nothing but him. What is he hiding from? Where?
What's he hiding behind? Right.
All him.
This can conceal me from you because it's not you and it's not me. But there's nothing outside of him. So what's he hiding behind? Altizer cannot hide. God can't hide. That's logic. Behind what? And that is Koyach HaAtzmus. That's the Ilu Adin Katz. Adrabah, in the concealment is the Ilu Adin Katz. Even more than the Koyach HaIsavos, the power to create Yashma'ai. Okay, we'll continue that tomorrow, Be'ez Hashem.